All right then, let's get started. Today we're taking a closer look at firearm photography, specifically for shooting ranges. Now you might think the pictures on your website are just a bit of window dressing, but honestly, there's so much more. They're your silent sales pitch, the thing that tells customers who you are and, crucially, what you're worth.
So here's what we've got on the cards. First, we'll talk about how your photos are already defining your business. Then, we'll dig into the common traps people fall into. After that, we'll get to the good stuff, a brilliant fix called light painting, how to use it to sell the full experience, and finally, the payoff, making those photos work their socks off for you.
Okay, first things first. When a potential customer lands on your website, they make a snap judgment. We're talking seconds, literally. And that first impression, it's almost entirely based on the photos they see. You get one shot to get it right.
Which brings us to this rather important question. Are your photos actively selling the premium experience you offer? Or are they, without you even realizing it, trapping you in a market you'd rather not be in? It's well worth a thought.
I mean, have a look at this. It really breaks it down, doesn't it? If your photos show tired-looking shelters and worn-out sand buns, you're basically shouting, "We're cheap," from the rooftops. You'll attract the bargain hunters. But if they see clean lines and modern kit, they just know it's a quality operation, and they walk in the door expecting to pay a fair price for it.
And this really hits the nail on the head. Your photography isn't just showing off your inventory, it's communicating your value. It's the visual handshake that says, yes, we're worth it. Or, well, it shoves you straight into the discount bin with everyone else. Now, a lot of ranges, even with the best intentions, get this wrong. So let's pull the trigger on this next insight and look at the common traps that can cause some proper headaches down the line.
First up, the classic catalog shot. You know the one. A firearm just laid flat on a white background. It's fine, I suppose, but it's dreadfully boring. It doesn't get the pulse racing, does it? You're not creating desire, you're just making an inventory list.
And this approach creates a world of pain for your designer. Shiny chrome reflects everything in the room, while matte black just swallows the light, losing all its gorgeous detail. Then you have to cut them out, and those cheap remove background apps are just rubbish. Even a proper green screen, if it's not lit perfectly, will cast this awful green glow all over the gun, making the editor's job an absolute nightmare.
So the next thought is, okay, let's put it in a real setting, which is a great idea, but it's got its own sneaky trap. The second you cover even a tiny part of the firearm with a glove, a sandbag, anything, it becomes unusable for high-end ads. Your designer can't just guess what's underneath.
Now here's where things get interesting. We've seen all the problems, so what's the answer? We need something that looks $1 million but doesn't cause a logistical migraine. Let's have a look at the expert fix.
The real game changer is a technique that gives you studio-quality photos, but done right there on-site at your range. This is huge because taking firearms off the premises to a photo studio can be a legal and logistical minefield you just don't want to get into.
It's called light painting, and it's actually quite clever. First, you suspend the firearm at a nice dynamic angle. None of that flat, boring stuff. Then, you're in a dark room with the camera set to be super sharp from end to end. Finally, with a simple little LED torch, you literally paint the firearm with light over a few different photos, bringing out all those beautiful details and textures.
And the result? It's a thing of beauty. A flawless, perfectly cut out image on a transparent background. Your marketing team can drop this onto any ad, any social media post, anywhere. It's what the source calls the graphic designer's champagne moment, and I think we can all raise a glass to that.
So, the firearms are looking absolutely top-notch. Brilliant. But that's only half the battle, isn't it? To really get people through the door, you have to sell the entire experience. And that means turning the camera on your facility and, most importantly, on your customers. That's how you sell trust and atmosphere.
Here's a cracking little trick for you when you're shooting your rooms. The 4x3 rule. It's dead simple. You go into each of the 4 corners of the room. From each corner, you take 3 shots. One from down low, one at eye level, and one from up high. That's 12 photos, and I guarantee one of them will be the perfect angle you were looking for.
Now, somewhere in your facility, there is one photo that matters more than all the others. We call it the trophy shot. This is that single stunning image, usually of your firing lane, that becomes the main banner on your website. It's the one shot that has to do all the heavy lifting, the one that screams quality and justifies your prices all by itself. And when you're photographing guests, with their permission of course, you can be really smart about it. Go for 3 different types of shots. You've got the hero shot, where you see their happy, excited face, perfect for testimonials. Then the action shot, from behind, which is great for ads because it's anonymous. And finally, the details shot, a close-up of their hands or a shell casing, which is brilliant for social media. Right, let's be deadly serious for a moment. Safety is everything. These 3 rules are absolutely non-negotiable. Finger must be clearly off the trigger. Muzzle must always be pointed in a safe direction, and proper eye and ear protection must be on and worn correctly. Any photo that fails these checks isn't just a bad photo, it's a direct threat to your reputation. Bin it immediately.
Right then, let's aim for the real target, what actually works. You've now got this fantastic library of professional, safe, and stunning photos. It's time to put them to work and see a proper return on your investment.
First off, know your tools. Your smartphone is brilliant for those in-the-moment, authentic little videos for social media. But for your big, authority-building images, the website banners, the magazine ads, you absolutely need a professional camera. You just can't print a phone picture on a giant banner without it looking like a pixelated mess.
So, you've got these incredible photos. Where should you put them for the fastest win? Number 1, your Google business profile. That's your digital front door. It's often the first thing people see. Number 2, your website's main banners, especially on the booking page. Seeing happy, safe customers right at that moment builds trust and makes them more likely to click book.
And how do you know all this effort is actually working? Simple. You look at the data. You should see people spending more time on your website, fewer people clicking away immediately, that's your bounce rate, and most importantly, a higher percentage of visitors actually making a booking. These are the numbers that prove your investment is paying for itself.
So, at the end of the day, your photography isn't an expense, it's a strategic investment that shapes your entire brand. The only question left is, are you ready to stop shooting in the dark and finally hit the bullseye with your marketing? Keep your sights sharp and see you in the next one.